Dear friends, I'm with Sarif Ramadan, one of the influencer from Makassar. Not Sulawesi. You are an influencer, right? Yeah, Sarif Ramadan. I'm saying that you are the influencer from South Sulawesi province. Sarif, I've been many times watching you on the internet. You are representing so many people or person or community behind you in terms of advocate or to convince stakeholders to take care about the disability issue. Okay, tell us what are behind the story behind the involvement, your role in this
So I just want to tell you that I'm also I'm part of disability community.
Disability community.
Yes, I have my own disability. I'm low vision. So when I was 3 months, I got cataract, and then the cataract result I cannot see very well. So just a little bit, maybe my left eye can see, and then the ability of my vision only less than 1 meter. So because of that, in my life every day sometimes I got discrimination to access public facilities.
Alright.
And then start from that, I'm trying to learn about how can I advocate myself, support myself to advocate the government so that they will have better support towards people with disability. And then after that, after I have the capacity, I also want to support other people with disability because we still find many people with disability get discrimination when they want to continue their study in public school. They get refused from the school. When they want to access health facilities, people there cannot accommodate them well. So that's why I'm working as a disability activist. I'm trying to amplify the voice of
amplify the voice of disability. It's like a strong word.
Amplify the rights of people with disability.
So what makes you so tough, so strong, so committed to be as a part of the advocacy or something like that? I mean, is there any story from your family, maybe?
Because in my life I have been many times get refused, get rejected. When I want to access something, like when I want to continue my school in senior high school, the principal of the school reject me. They said that we cannot teach you here. You should come to extraordinary special education. But in special education, I didn't get any the best quality of education there. So I need to move like other people, like sighted people. So because of those experience, I feel it's very difficult if you want to access your needs, but people reject it. So start from that experience, I committed to amplify the voice of people with disability, because I think all people should have access the same way like other people. Not only because our disability is not a reason you cannot give us access. You cannot you discriminate us. You should treat us like other people.
We have the same
treatment. Maybe you will find any difficulty, but if you know us so well, if you understand about what we need, you can learn from that and try to provide access, and then we can learn to each other.
Okay. I heard that you're 6 months in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And tell us about the story. I mean, the background of the study.
So since 2016, after I graduated from university, I'm working in the organization. I'm active, involved in one of organization in Makassar called PERDIK,
yeah.
Gerakan Difabel Indonesia untuk Kesetaraan or Indonesian Disability Movement for Equality. So there, I do research as well as advocacy, and then from that experience in 2019, the government of New Zealand looking for 10 people from eastern part of Indonesia to learn about sustainable development goals in New Zealand. SDGs. And then at the time I tried to apply the opportunity, and then I'm being selected. I'm the one out from those 10, from those 10 people, but only me who have a disability. And then after that, I went to New Zealand for 6 months, learning about sustainable development goals, and I also have my special interest at those time about how the government of New Zealand provide inclusive education for people with disability. So there, I learned about sustainable development goals, and also about, especially about inclusive education, because I have experience to support, to assisting many students with disability, so they can get the public school.
You mentioned before that your imagination, your expectation about what we call good education process, you're not, I mean, you didn't get that expectation because of the so how do you observe the current system, or maybe, I don't know, the atmosphere of the government bodies regarding the needs of the disabilities here? I mean, from your experience, perspective.
So now I think getting better than before, because we already have national regulation regarding disability, and then even though maybe the implementation is still poor, but we can see the progress. We can see the progress. Still poor, but we try to advocate, and also we collaborate. We are working together with the government to give them perspective about disability, and then we hope start from that they can provide better facilities, better services. So
and good and capable enough for officers or staff.
Capable enough to accommodate the need of people with disability. But we understand that we still need to give them perspective, give them knowledge about how to interacting with people with disability, about the ethical issue with starting and also working with disability. That's thing that we are now from the disabled organization working on that issue.
Sarif, I'm proud of you, not because of you coming from Galeso or Borgonombo, which is, I also from there. But what I want to say, you many times visiting many places around Indonesia. Right? So tell me, I mean, did you get any impression or good lesson from the other place about how they protect disability, how they allocate resources to support the disability? Did you get
So I've been visiting 3 different countries.
3 different countries.
Yes,
New Zealand,
Australia, and US, America Serikat.
Wow, USA.
Yes, and each country have the different way to protecting the right of people with disability. I can see all those three countries have desire to support people with disability. They have
a strong willingness.
Strong willingness, strong policy. Then the important thing, they provide a budget. They allocate a budget allocation regarding on disability issues. And also they have the good data. In New Zealand, more than 25% of their citizens has disability.
Really?
Because they have good data. I think if Indonesia also have good data, we can identify how many about the percentage of people with disability.
I mean, 25% means the data regarding the disability captured.
Yeah.
Because of the
So in New Zealand, the total of their citizens is 4,800,000, and then people with disability is 1,400,000 something. So 25% of the citizens of New Zealand are disabled. Yeah.
Okay.
Because they have a good data, they have a good instrument to identify the needs of the category of people, the disabled people. So because of that, they provide budget allocation, they provide strategy to fulfill the rights of people.
Of course, and based on the data provide collected from the community, and then even 25%. Okay, dear friends, we are now discussing about a project called Inklusi Maros, which is also interesting to know about the story behind the community groups who concerned in the data collection, right?
Yes.
Yeah, kelompok inklusi, right?
Yeah.
So there are 5,680 information about the kind of access for information regarding disability. What I want to say is we have also good lesson from the project in order to collect the data or information, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, from your perspective, how do you read, how do you observe the policy, especially in district or municipality level, or in South Sulawesi?
In South Sulawesi, we already have the local regulation, also followed by peraturan gubernur about disability action plan. I think based on paper, based on the policy, we already have the good policy. Now the most important thing that we have to encourage the head of kepala desa, the bupati, to implement those policy. We already have the good policy, so now our responsible about how can we implement the policy.
Yeah, how can we? Of course, if you want to implement, you need the sources, right? You need capable enough for the officer, for the staff, for the village staff.
Yeah, then I want to say that we have disabled people organization in South Sulawesi. We have other civil society organization concerned on this issue. We already have the network. So now we just maintain the collaboration among us. So we can working together to make sure that the policy working well, the implementation working well.
So we can learn from Verdik and Sarif Ramadan also about their experiences in the advocacy of the. Thank you very much. It's a very, very interesting. I think someday, I don't know, because students here, I think someday again, we can discuss again about more detail. Right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sarif Ramadan from Verdik.